Hey everyone, I'm Allie from Titan. Thank you for having me here, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello everybody, my name is Ian Taylor and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details of which are at the end of this podcast, so come check us out. With me as always is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. He puts the fun into any card fund. It's Norrin Rad.
I love it. I love it.
You're doing that lifting thing with your desk as I'm doing the intro, aren't you? So you're going up on me rather than going down.
I was trying to do it quietly.
That's
to not distract you.
You did turn your mic off, but I could just see you getting more, I'm going to say it, getting more erect in the corner of my eye. I can see it happening. And he's gone. We're less than a minute in, and he's gone already. He's gone already. Yes, I went there. Hello, everybody. Have you had a good week? Yes, Ian, we've had a really good week.
I love that everyone sounds like a child. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was so awesome.
They kind of sound like a character from pop culture I can't remember. So we've had a good week. I'm going to talk about it straight away. We've had a good week, unless of course you're collecting Marvel Unbound.
I feel for people, man.
I'm going to talk about this. Awful. I'm going to talk about this, and no shade to anyone apart from whoever is managing the server load at EPAC. Because quite frankly, I'm amazed that given the amount of big on sales and crashes that we've had all the way through Marvel Weekly and even through some of the weeks of Unbound, that the week of Unbound that Spider-Man hits, and we're 3 years into them doing this release star format into Marvel cards. I can't remember what they've done with other sets, and it still causes the entire site to go.
Honestly,
yeah,
no, it's really bad. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just the audience of the hobby is growing so rapidly that I knew that card was going to bring that kind of attention.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was going to go. I knew it was going to be popular. So for those who don't know, Marvel Unbound releases weekly on the Upper Deck EPAC site. There's one pack is one card. And it's numbered to, is it 999? It is. That's right.
Yes.
So in theory, there's 1,000 packs available, and 50 of those packs are also seeded with a second card, which is the auto version, signed by both Fred and 50? Ian. Out of 50. That's right. So no change there. But this week happened to be Spider-Man. And so everyone is normally collecting it wants copies. Everyone is into Spider-Man wants copies. And the number of people into Spider-Man since the boom of the last 3 months, especially since No Way Home, is not inconsiderable. Then you cap onto the fact that there were probably quite a lot of people buying it because they might not know anything about Marvel cards, but they figured, hey, I can buy some of these and I can make a buck. Because those people are, like it or not, now very active within the Marvel card scene, as we've talked about before. So you've got triple that. Then just in chats that we were on, people were going, well, I'll try and buy a few packs just to make sure that you get some.
Yeah.
Multiply that by however many people are saying that to each other. I don't normally try, but I'll try this week. So it's kind of like, and people are allowed to buy, I think, 3 packs in one transaction. I think that's always been the case. And a lot of people just didn't, by the time they got to checkout, it was gone from their cart. I mean, it was...
Yeah.
It was a shit show, quite frankly.
It really was.
And the number of disgruntled people, I mean, so much so, even our group crashed for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
A number of disgruntled people coming onto the group. And we even had a couple of people leave the group because they were so annoyed that the people who did manage to get a card were straight away either preening about it or trying to sell it. It was just ugly.
Wow.
It wasn't very nice. Wasn't very nice at all for anyone. And those, when the packs cost $12.99 of your hard-earned dead presidents, and I believe that most weeks Unbound, people usually buy multiple packs and do return trips to buy 3 more and then 3 more. I don't think people even got to do that this week. I think it was.
I don't think anybody got to do that.
Anyone got to do that. But normally people offload their extras in group for anywhere from $7, $8, $9. $50 is what it seems to be going for, the base card for that one. It's crazy.
That's insane. I haven't even looked that up.
It's crazy. No, yeah, people 50.
A good friend of ours helped you and me out to get one.
Yep. So
the nicest person. It's still too nice of them to do that.
Yeah. So someone who we know did get through to buy some, managed to get 3 packs and hooked us up at pack price, which was very, very kind. Yeah. So thank you
very
to that
kind
person. And some people who had managed to get more than 1 pack did kind of, there was a balance restored to the force, because by the end of Monday, there were people who were saying, okay, I'll do a giveaway. And then
people tried. I mean, honestly, there were some really good people in the group focusing on the positives here for a second.
Yeah, there were.
There were some really amazing people who, at cost, or I'm sure bought for a friend, or, had the situation we had. I really do think a lot of people were trying to make sure that their friends who just enjoy the hobby were able to at least get that card, because it is a kind of a monumental card. And I think a lot of people are going to try to make that set. And, I hope Unbound becomes what Star Wars Living Set is to Topps, so hopefully it does have that kind of iconic vibe, and they are hard numbered as well. So I don't know. It's pretty exciting.
I remember when Upper Deck first told me off the record that the set was coming, it was described as a living set to me. So, that's.
I mean, we talked to them about having something like that before, I'm sure they were already thinking about this, we had mentioned it to them beforehand, and it just, luckily everybody was thinking the same thing. So I'm just glad they did it. I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad it's Fred Ian's art. That's really great that people are getting to enjoy his work.
And into year 2, he's going to be doing.
And into year 2, which is really exciting. It's pretty thrilling.
It is good. I mean, so it's, it is a shame. I feel for the people who had been getting it every week and weren't able to get it. The one thing I will say is that there are 999 of them. So unless you're bonkersly trying to build multiple sets, which some people are, if you're just going for one set, you should be able to pick one up. I mean, you might have to trade a bit higher.
I think a lot of people,
the market is higher, but
Yeah, I think a lot of people, look, these things will get very cheap on ComC once the sketches are redeemed.
Yeah.
I think that was the issue, is that a lot of people are trying to lock down that Fred Ian sketch achievement.
Well, that's the thing. It's the autos that get you the sketch. The base cards only get you the.
Yeah, I think that's what people were really upset about, is not getting an auto card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or being able to obtain one semi-easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the autos, people have been selling anywhere from 120 to 150 each week. The autos for this one are kind of going 500, 600, 700.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's just ridiculous.
It's absolutely crazy. But if you're a character collector, then you've kind of got to have it. So fortunately, a number of the character collectors we know focus on Spidey were able to get hooked up, which was good. I'm loving the set. I'm actually missing the last 2 weeks, Red Skull and whoever the other one was. Red Skull was brilliant.
Red Skull was nice. I actually really like that one.
It was really good. Next week coming up as we record, or tomorrow as we record, is Spider-Woman.
That one looks really good too, actually.
Yeah, it does look good. I think that's a seriously underrated character, Spider-Woman, especially that representation of her. I wish more people would PC her, actually.
I feel like we know someone who is. Yeah. Wait. I do know someone who is, I believe, unless they recently sold their collection. But I thought I knew someone who was having a pretty good run in her.
Pass. I don't know. Can't remember. I can't keep up. Dear. So many characters, so many collectors.
I know.
It is. Anyway, listen. It was a short day. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And it put a bit of a spin on the week. For better or worse.
On the week. I love that.
And listen, Wolverine and Venom are likely coming in the next few weeks. So it's only going to be worse.
I wonder.
It's only going to be worse. We've had an email.
Whoa.
We've had a really good email, so I'm just gonna read this to you. It's from someone called Ren Carver. Hi, I was wondering if you'd be interested in acquiring the possible attendees mailing list of the Western Pool and Spa Show 2022. Please let me know your interest to get back. You get the idea. Spam, dear, spam.
Are we gonna get? Oh, that's spam.
That's spam.
Okay,
that's all
we don't want to reach out. I mean, Marvel cards and spas.
Quite frankly, I'm just thinking, or from Juliana, we could get high quality custom Twitch emotes.
What's a Twitch emote?
I don't know, but I like the sound of it. It's kind of making Twitch cool. Just thinking about it. Anyway,
Twitch emoting.
But you always do. I've always said you were good at that. But the thing is, we're not getting any actual proper emails from people. So if you want to talk to us, you can also email us. Some people hit us up on Messenger. Some people hit us up on Instagram. But we love getting emails. So the MCCpod at gmail.com. That's where you got, okay, try and outnumber the number of spam things that we're currently getting with an actual real email. Because one of your real emails, folks, is worth 50 of those spam emails, even though some of those spam emails are actually quite fun to read sometimes.
You're reading spam emails?
Sometimes I get so lonely I have to. Because I'm on different time zones than the rest of you. And when I'm awake and I want to talk about cards, the rest of you are asleep.
I try to wake up early.
I know you do. Except when the clocks change. I almost said cocks change by mistake. Oops.
I told you not to talk about my condition. But okay, I guess it's just public information now. Well, thanks a lot.
Started the episode going up on me. Right. The intro this week, before we get into the meat of things, Ali from Titan. Ali from Titan, you're amazing, quite frankly. She's really on a roll with some of her content at the moment. She's doing some.
She's killing it.
She did one the other day where she's just kind of walking and talking to camera at the same time. And
she's vlogging. Nice.
Well, kind of. No, it was kind of just a little reel that she did.
Cool.
As opposed to kind of where she normally kind of poses with cards or is in some awesome cosplay or something like that. And I saw her getting shout out on. Someone on Twitter was giving her a shout out from the sports side of things as well. So I thought, her profile's definitely going up. And she's got 6,500 followers now.
She does good work, man.
She's pretty good. So, folks, check her out at Ali from Titan, ALLY from Titan. Ali, you're awesome. We love you. And
you're the best.
Come back on at some point when we're both here, because the time she came on, you were poorly, I think, Norrin. So,
yeah, I was. That's right. I did a segment with her on Sketch Card to make up for it because I felt terrible. Yeah, I was so sick.
Oh, cool.
But no, I think maybe when there's something crazy to.
I think so.
Like to promote maybe her doing an unboxing of something like a Spider-Man or a Masterpiece, something or Premiere. Absolutely. Maybe we can have her on.
Absolutely. I've just spotted on our Instagram. We're in, the highlights that you do at the top.
Yeah.
We're in our highlights at the top.
Oh, really?
On our Instagram. It says MCC Podcast. And you click on it, and there she is.
Oh, that's nice.
That's brilliant. I love it. Thanks, Ali. We love you, Ali. Ali.
No.
Anyway, we'll move on. I will stop issuing that cry when we talk about Ali from Titan. I wanted to very quickly talk about some great feedback that we had from Ron Cedar or Sader. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce your surname, Ron. So I apologize if I'm muffled.
I've been seeing him everywhere recently.
Ron's lovely. I can't remember how long he's been in the group. Oh, yes. In fact, it says so in the message I'm about to read out. So I'll stop bearing the lead. He left us a review, actually. Just wanted to take a moment to thank Ian Taylor, that's me, Norrin Rad, that's you, for their time and effort in producing and hosting the Marvel Card Collectors podcast. Since getting back into the hobby last year, and joining this jewel of a Facebook page of awesome people. Oh, bless you. I also found the MCCP. Still sounds Soviet, although we're not allowed to talk about them at the moment. Every morning when I run, I listen to the MCCP with Ian Taylor and Norrin. Just love it and enjoy their humor, especially Ian's, and all of the insight and knowledge they impart. For me, it is such a fresh take on all things in the hobby, and for someone new to this again, sheds light on topics and areas of collecting and the Marvel collecting universe that I would otherwise not be aware of. They even have special guests, OG collectors, and even some industry insiders as guests. So much fun, and the banter between the two is great. You can even hear Norrin roll his eyes to some of Ian's jokes and comments, although I'm sure Norrin is chuckling inside. Anyway, just wanted to share my experience on this, and if you have not listened to it, I suggest give it a try. Anyway, just wanted to thank Ian and Norrin again for the content and the smiles and sometimes guffaws. Keep them coming. Isn't that lovely?
It's very lovely. The loveliest.
Ron's amazing.
Mm-hmm. What a nice guy.
Ron recently purchased a Marvel Masterpieces set off me.
Nice.
And that's a nice segue into a few weeks back, we did a round of hobby questions. And one of the hobby questions, I remember when we did the episode, I said, we'll put a pin in that and we'll come back to it because it's kind of its own talking point. And this is the episode where we do that. If I can find it, because I did have it on my screen and my browser refreshed. Here we go. So Heath Stevens. He asked, I'd love to hear you guys talk about building up a card fund, maybe how others have done it. I'd imagine not everyone in the group came into the hobby with a huge bankroll, but the number of people spending thousands seems numerous. How can the little guy get in on the action? It's a very good question, that.
How can I get on the action? Honestly, knowledge, man, and education. Like, really, the trick of all this is to just go to ComC, go to eBay, and type a brand. Marvel Flair, Masterpieces, Anime, just something random. Look through the years, look at something you've liked in the past, and just study a set. See if there's anything that's limited that people don't know about. See if there's anything there that, someone overlooked, and, start buying those cards for yourself if you like them and if you want to get into it. There's still so much to discover in Marvel cards. It's painful, actually. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I tell Ian all the time, and a few friends of mine who I talk to daily. There are cards out there that no one has even discovered yet, and they are probably the biggest grail cards of Marvel. Way more than like PMGs in general, to be honest. Just some really beautiful pieces out there. Actually, someone on Instagram who I follow, who's a buddy of mine, who's also a Silver Surfer collector. I think it's Nat. Where are you, Nat? Hold on.
You'll find him. He's on.
I'll find him. Basically, yeah, there he is. So this is a crazy post, but okay, Nat SREPUS 666. He has like a Silver Surfer card as his icon.
Okay.
Very nice guy. Spoken to him once or twice, and this is crazy. But he was on a WhatsApp or WhatsApp. What the hell?
Oh, Whatnot.
Whatnot. That's it. That's stupid crap. Right. The Whatnot. He's on the Whatnot thing. He's buying packs and stuff like that, getting into that auction house kind of vibe type of thing that everyone's into right now.
Yeah.
And this is crazy. He gets a QFX pack.
Oh,
Marvel
okay.
1997 QFX.
Yeah.
He pulls a Mephisto autograph.
Oh.
Now, these autograph cards are super ridiculously rare. They're only out of 35 for each character. And they actually have a different finish on them, not glossy. They have like a matte finish on them. And Joe Quesada, who was the editor of Marvel for a long time, made this whole set concept and design and took the photographs and then sketched characters into these real world settings. A huge set. I'm a huge fan of this set. I'd like to get a master of it, but but yeah, pulled the freaking autograph, and it's so rare to see those actually come out of pack.
Yeah.
But and he just happened to get this card and kind of starting this journey for him down the QFX rabbit hole. But there's just really cool cards out there. I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see people finally starting getting into like the real sets where they start really discovering what these cards look like and start to understand a little bit more about Marvel instead of the safe bet, which is, the serial number
instead
cards.
Of the shiny and the serial numbered. Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about this a lot, and it's been my experience a lot over the past 18 months since I've started to trim down my collection, about selling things that you no longer kind of feel. You feel it when you're into a card or into a set, and when you lose that, I always think it's time to consider whether or not the card stays with you. At least that's the conclusion I've come to. Same. So my recent experience probably explains this the best, Heath. I think if you're not starting out from new, if you've got a little bit of a few cards in hand, and I had quite a few, have a look at it and decide, okay, do I need, in my case, it was the parallels. So I think I've spoken about this before, about over 6 months now, I trimmed all the parallel sets that I had from the 90s sets. So I had the Masterpieces 94 gold signature set. And I was like, well, I've got the base cards for that set. I don't need another set of those cards just with a printed signature on, although it's nice. The 1995 Emotions cards, they're absolutely gorgeous, but I didn't have the full set, and I was never going to spend as much as they've been going for to finish
it. Took to get to that full set. Yeah.
So I was like, I'll offload that. And a couple of other sets. So I did that. And then I did the same with the Holofoils from 94. Offloaded the gold and bronze, and made a lot of people very happy because they don't pop up very often. It made me very happy as well because it enabled me to buy. I think it went towards my Leonard Nimoy auto. Anyway, I did it again, and I was kind of holding off on this because I didn't really want to admit it to myself. But when you collect on the Masterpieces 2016, 2018, and 2020 sets, when you collect the base 1 to 81, which is tiers 1 to 3, not tier 4, because that's Crazy Town. When you collect the base, when you collect the gold signature, which is unnumbered, but again, 1 to 81, and then when you collect the what if, they are numbered 1 to 81. That's a lot of cards. That's a lot of thickness of cards, and the binder is just it's I have to store it flat for a start, and it's good 3 inches. And it's just, I was looking at them thinking, that's just crazy. I mean, I like the what ifs. I like them. I like the gold SIGs, especially the Bianchi set 2018. It was a work of art in and of itself. And it's quite a thin one as well. The Just Go signature was printed very thick. I like them, but you know what? I've got the base cards. So, same with Unbound. Unbound's quite good in that I've seen people post pictures where you can see, all the cards one after another. And, I'd rather have just one copy of a really good piece of art than several different versions of it. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get them out of the binder, sleeve them up, sell them. So I've sold my 2016 gold signature 1 to 81, my 2016 What If 1 to 81 minus 5 cards, I think it was. My 2018 Gold Sig 1 to 81. My 2018 What If 1 to 81. 2020 Gold Sig as much as I've done, which was most of it. I've still got a chunk of What If to sell. No one's bought those yet. But I also, and this was a crazy one for me, the gallery, Canvas Gallery, there's a gold numbered to 99 and a red numbered to 25 parallel set for that. Now, I never went after the red, so I don't have any of those. They go for a lot. But the golds have just gone through the roof. So I was like, you know what? I've got the base, and even though I love the gold galleries, I was like, you know what I'd love even more? Money for my vacation in August. So I was lucky. So Heath, in terms of building up your card funds, this example notwithstanding, for me, it's been quite good to prune and start trimming down, because that gives me some spend where the hobby is kind of funding the hobby, if you like, because I've got that. I guess if you're going to think of it in these terms, I guess I've got that capital in the cards I've already got that I can.
You really do. Yeah, you already have the word I keep hearing a lot which I like to do a full episode on eventually. It's something called a portfolio. And it's just because I've been talking to a lot of people kind of in these circles, they're, talking about having a card portfolio and having, something built up for yourself already in terms of like, having cards and having a collection and being a curator of your collection. Yeah, it's a fascinating word that's being thrown around because usually a word that you hear associated with stocks and money and all that. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting, but I've heard I've had a lot of people kind of talk about it and bring it up who are just crazy levels. Like there was someone we were talking to in Matt Combs. I think it's Matt Combs, the Clubhouse.
Oh yeah. He does those audio Clubhouse.
Yeah. He does the audio Clubhouse. We're really fun. I've been dropping in here and there. And we spoke to the architect. God, I don't remember his name now. I should have wrote it down. A very nice gentleman who used to work at Upper Deck, who designed all the exquisite basketball cards that people pay quite a bit of money for. Very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. And he came on there and he started talking to us about, the cards he designed at Upper Deck for the sports part. Yeah, it was really cool.
Can we get him on?
Yeah, I'm going to ask, but he's super knowledgeable and very kind with his time. And, he threw that word out there, portfolio. And I've heard it a couple of times now before, but, Heath, there is a kind of like luck or just passion that you're getting paid off for. I think a lot of us collectors are getting paid for our passion right now in some way or another, in terms of the sets we have, the collections we're building, the friends we've connected with. And, when you're thinking about what can I hunt next, or, building up my card fund, take stock, like Ian said, in what you have, because that will kind of guide your way there. I mean, even I'm doing it with my surfers. I collect everything surfer cards wise. I would like to do everything surfer, but I have to stick to cards. But even I am like going to take some time and put aside my top 25 favorite Silver Surfer cards just to have kind of an idea of what that looks like, what like a mini master collection looks like. Not because I'm selling anything. I actually really, really don't want to sell, even though I know as this gets worse and worse, you know what I mean? That temptation is going to be thrown at a lot of us. Unfortunately.
My black cat.
I mean, it's pretty rough.
Put my black cat purple numbered to 5. I've been tempted, but I'm like, I don't know.
No, it's tough. It's tough because like the truth is, and I think our friend Eugene kind of told me this and kind of helped me think about this, was that, at one point you just have to think about it in the sense that if you do sell, you sell at a point where you'll never actually come back and buy in again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is the trick. You know what I mean? Like, because if you sell and you're like, well, I can't participate at this level ever again, no matter what, even if I had the money, I wouldn't participate at this level, whoever says that, people who say that, just because like money, time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That kind of helps with the decision of what you're going to do in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have, and it's not that I've been having this conversation with myself. This is conversations I've been having with a lot of friends whose collections that they want to sell or part with, or, looking for a good price or whatever the case may be. You have to kind of look out and understand what's happening. Like for me, I think I told Ian this, but I went ahead and pursued, like, in my opinion, what the top 10 Marvel Grail cards are. And I got all of them actually, except for 2. And then I ended up not liking the Mirages, which I think are on that list.
Interesting. Which
the big ones, the really rare, is it the 96? I have it here.
Well, there's Masterpieces 95.
I think it might have been
Masterpieces. There was some Mirages 95. From the Fleer Ultra X-Men
Marvel
Wolverine
DVC,
set.
Right? The X-Men Wolverine set. I think I had it.
Wrote the list, didn't you? You've got. I can see you.
I wrote the list. Yeah. I wrote a list of them because, like, you and I spoke about this, and I did this a long time ago because I kind of. With Ian, we kind of saw what was going on here.
Well, I remember seeing you sent me a photo of the page. This was
amazing. Yeah. Because I want to see it. And I divided them up into like autographs, mirages, holograms.
I love it.
So the Mirage ones that I put on here were the 95 Marvel Masterpiece Mirage, the X-Men and the Avengers.
Yeah.
And then there is a 95 DC versus Marvel ones that are pretty important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a more rare promo Mirage, but I had one of each of the 95 Mirages and sold them because I actually, they're really condition sensitive, and I just didn't like the look of them. I think they're beautiful looking cards, but like, I think I have a vision problem because when I look at it, I just didn't, you know what I mean?
I was the same.
Really notice the art.
I got 2018
cards,
Masterpieces Mirage, and I just couldn't get on with it. So
it's a shame too, because I love the idea of the Mirages, and I think they've done them better in annual with the Spectaculars and some of the other ones when it's only like 1 or 2 images. Maybe that's not annual.
No, what you remember we talked about it the other week.
The covers we talked about it. Yes,
yeah, the Marvel 80th covers are incredible.
That's
the Spectaculars don't work as well, but the covers.
That's it. The covers
are incredible.
They're gorgeous, and they're Alex Ross art for some of them with the Marvels. Like, I mean, they're just stunning.
And Marvel Comics presents the Weapon X cover.
They work with less images. I just don't know if they work with the 4. It's not nostalgic for me. What's more nostalgic were the holograms, not the Mirages.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So like, you have to make that decision. So like for the Grail list, like the hologram one I had was the Spider-Man versus Venom, which was the red one, which is the rarest variant. But that I think that's probably the most iconic hologram in Marvel cards, is that Spider-Man versus Venom.
I think so. I think the 92 Marvel Universe ones are pretty iconic as well, because I like, don't get me wrong, I like the Marvel Universe 1990 ones, but they are kind of where it started, so they're okay, and the 91 ones are a little bit flat, I think, but 92 for some reason they just took a leap in terms of how deep they were, in terms of how detailed they were.
The depth was really achieved there too,
and I think it's because they suddenly put a bit more money in it, because if you remember in 92 they started appearing on the front cover of the 30th anniversary of Spidey issues.
Yep.
And they also then started appearing on the cover of X-Men comics. So I think there was just a bit of let's start putting a bit more money into how we make.
Yes. Well, the 94 Marvel Universe ones are just, that's like, honestly, that's like my top 5 favorite Silver Surfer cards is that Silver Surfer hologram. I'm just like, I really would love to get, I have all 4 of those color examples from it, but man, I really want to get some more. Like, I'd really like to find ones that are really good condition, nice colors. Just because it's so hard to search for those on eBay because you can't see the surface damage and the color doesn't come out right. I don't know. Like, that's something I want to find out at a card show.
Marvel Universe. I could do.
You don't have the holograms from there?
Not from 94, no. 94 Marvel Universe, I think, is the Marvel Universe set that I don't think I've finished it. I finished 92. 93. Yeah, there's 92. There's my binder for 92. That's that there. Sorry, folks. I'm just going to do an inventory while you're listening. 94. Where is it? Here it is. I think I've got 93, but I don't have the red 2099 subset from 93. So I could use one of those when I've got one spare. 93 didn't have hollows, did it? He says.
93.
Yes, it did. So. 93 had the Spidey versus Venom. It was the only hollow in that set.
Oh, that's right. 93, right.
Yeah, so that's Marvel Universe 4 from 1993.
I5 or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Because it had the Spidey 2099. It had the 2099 kind of 9-card chase set, and then it had the Spidey Venom. So I don't have those. And then Marvel Universe 94. Got loads of uncuts for it. It's brilliant. I love it. I've got quite a lot of the Power Blasts and the suspended animations from that set.
You know what? Suspended animation is like super underrated. I love those cards. They're transparent.
Hard to find repeated in clear condition because they discolor.
Oh, because there's a variant though. Do you know that's actually a variant? There's a yellow and a clear. Oh, look at you, you dirty dog.
So I've got Spider-Man suspended animation. Now, what people don't often know about this, and I don't intend for this to become a clarion call show where we put out, okay, this is hot, go and buy it.
Oh God, I hope not. That's not what I'm saying.
No. But I'm going to show you this. They did the oversized master print version of the suspended animations. Look at that.
That's so cool.
So it's a master print size copy of the suspended animation. Yeah, they're just beautiful.
That is so cool.
They're just stunning.
Just stunning.
They're stunning. In fact, you know what? Before we release this episode, I'm going to go and try and finish the set.
You know what? That actually might be the right idea.
Yeah, it might be the right idea. Yeah, exactly. I've got Thing, I've got Venom, and I've got Spidey from that set. But Marvel Universe 94, I think it's a radically underrated set anyway. There was something about the artwork that was just very 90s. But I mean, that's a 4-card uncut promo from it, and it's just cool.
Oh, that's so cool. I have the Silver Surfer one too.
It's a lovely set. It's a lovely set. So I do need to finish Marvel Universe 94, just to cap it off.
I got the Gem and 10 of the base.
Oh, that's right. I think you showed me that.
Yeah, I can't believe it was just sitting on eBay, and I just.
Oh, that's lovely. I
love the foiling. It's a really nice
Send me a photo of that. Don't forget, because I'll put it on tasting notes.
I'll do it right now as we talk. Well, also, I have it took me forever. I also found the cell sheet, the mini and the big one, and it shows the Silver Surfer in the 3 process.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
Because it's Ron Lim art.
Yeah, I remember that. Cool? While you're doing that photo, so Heath, basically what I'm saying is on that one is if you're not in a position where you're sitting on loads of cards that you can like kind of sell to fund stuff that you want to buy, then I guess the other way, I'm saying, is have a look around and see what you like that may not need you to bankroll thousands of dollars. Go to ComC, look in the groups, see what catches your eye. And it might be that you see something that you think is actually going to go up a little bit, and you might want to buy it and see if you can make a little bit to then fund yourself, because people do that. People do flip to, that's a common
build up the card fund.
Yeah, it takes a bit of effort, energy, and time to get to the point where you're properly just funding the hobby with the hobby on that sense, because you'll always find that there's more you want to buy than you can buy to sell, if that makes sense.
Always be a curator. Like for me, and this is going to sound weird, and I hope people don't take this wrong, but like for me, with everything costing as much as it is now, you can't be a collector in this hobby anymore. You have to be a curator. And as weird and strange as that distinction is of you can't do this because of money, for some of us, that's a reality. Like personally,
or for most of us.
Most of us
don't own 7 different practices of a business across several states with 6-figure salaries.
Or like, a lot of things that I see people do in the sports card world, which might be smart for a lot of people in the future of this hobby, is going to have to be buddy up. Like you're going to have to partly own things at this point in your collection, find someone who you really, really trust and be like, listen, I found this.
Like timeshare kind of things.
Yeah. Let's go half. We both have to decide to sell when we want to sell, and then you buy it. You know what I mean? And it's a less of a buy-in, less of a risk. And then you can go ahead and own that rare piece and, hedge your bets if that's what you want to do to build up that card fund.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of strategies here, man. I think we just got to think outside the box for the future of Marvel.
There's loads of ways you can do it, Heath. I mean, one of the other things, and we've talked about this before, I think we talked about it when I jumped on an Instagram live you were doing, is you can do it on e-Pack as well. There's a golden window of time with any new release where people will be chasing the achievements. And the people that are chasing those achievements will often overtrade to get the last cards they need, especially if the achievement is a limited one, if there's only 10, 15, 20 copies, or even 5 copies of it. Now, that's not to say that you are putting the trades out and trying to fleece someone. I think I've got to be very careful with this, because you can do that and people will be willing to give you more than they normally do. You often find the trades come into you and you're like, am I reading this right? Is they really offering me all that just to get this item? And you'll find that often case, and I had it recently with James Bond, the Henchmen's and Villains release. So I was buying product, and I was only doing so in order to get certain cards from Daniel Craig era movies. So I wasn't interested in anything from I wasn't interested in any of the base, any of the chase. The only cards I was interested in were autographs from Daniel Craig movies and relics from Daniel Craig movies. And it turns out the relics were only from Daniel Craig movies. So what I was able to do is I was able to buy products, and people were chasing the achievements. And so there were crystal clear cards and there were poster cards that were valid towards the achievements. Now, as soon as the achievements happened, of course, the value of those drops like a dishwasher from 50,000 feet. But while it's still going, it's worth more than it should be. And so if you have that in the first 24, 36 hours, you've got a window there where if your wish list isn't in that set and your wish list is somewhere else, chances are someone's got lots of that hanging around from when, from they're obviously buying a lot of stuff. And you can obviously kind of level up that way and fill in some of your wish list gaps. I did it with Black Diamond as well. The free boxes that I bought managed to get me a considerable chunk of the cards I was chasing. But that's because I decided ahead of time what I was chasing and what I wasn't chasing. So I was quite disciplined on that one. And I think that's the key to it, is be disciplined. Decide what you want to collect from the outset, which is also where your research comes in. Decide what you're going to go for and don't be swayed by it and think, okay, how can I get there? So,
look, man, gotta be careful with this stuff. Like, in all seriousness, like you guys have no idea how hard it is for a character collector to stay on target. Like, it's brutal, because it's not like we're not fans of there are Marvel sets I wish I had, because I just love the look at them. And I'd love to do the binder thing, because that's right up my alley. I'd love to do all this kind of fun stuff. But man, it's just the thing I always remembered hearing people telling me how much they regretted buying things all over the place, have a Grail card come up, and then had to wait until payday, or had to, put it on a credit card and never took it off. You know what I mean? Like, there really is something gratifying about understanding that the cards you're looking for do come up, and being ready and being patient it's not a small thing, to say the least.
Travel light, be nimble, and have a reserve card fund, I would say. Easier said than done. It's taken me bloody ages to figure that out. So
it's hard, man. It took me forever too. It's tough. It's really tough. Like right now, I'm only hunting down one specific aspect of my collection. Very, very small thing. Not a very small thing. It's probably the hardest thing to hunt down, but it's not like one particular card. It's like one section of it where I'm like, I'm only buying this. Yeah. And there's been so many other things where I have to be like, nope. And kind of walk away. And, I have to make big offers to certain collectors, but it's rough, man. It's rough, and you got to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've kind of put in, when you go bowling, and if you can't bowl for then you put those guardrails up at the side to keep you on target. I've kind of got those guardrails up at the moment. So I'm very, and we had a comment, I'm not going to go into it this week because I know you've got to bounce, but we had a comment from someone else who was talking about what we're going after. And our decision not to talk about that so openly, but we'll talk about that. We'll park that. I thought it was a good bit of feedback, so I like it, and we'll throw that around. But I'm very focused on the Star Trek movie style autograph from the Rittenhouse sets released between 2008-ish to around 2018, 2019. And there's a particular style of autos that I think there are over 150 of them, just over 150. And they started with Star Trek, the complete movies, and then Star Trek movies in motion, then Star Trek movies, heroes and villains. Yeah, there's about 6 sets that Rittenhouse did. So I'm very, very focused on that style of autograph, and they carried on the numbering between sets. And I've just been quietly focused on that for the past year, and selling stuff to buy those. And I've got a lot of the big ones. So I've got Ricardo Montalban early. I've got Leonard Nimoy early. I've got Shatner early, even though there's other Shatner and Nimoy cards in, but I've got the big ones. I'm probably about 25 cards off finishing now.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah. Wow. I'm getting there. And some of them have been absolute bears in terms of affording, and other than I've managed to get really good ones. And I've got a big shout out to one guy who saw I was chasing and sent me a free Malcolm McDowell auto.
What a nice guy.
I so many beers owed when I meet that young man. So
no kidding.
Thank you to that person who I will not name.
That's
anyway,
part of the hobby.
But what I'm saying is I'm staying focused on that, even though I know that I want to start getting the next generation, a particular cardstock autograph. And there's been lots of those. But I know I want to go for that set as well, because I'd love a set of next generation autos.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll get the Star Trek Next Generation binders that came out for season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Cool.
But I'll use those for the autos.
See, that's the way to
That's
do
what
it,
I'm going to do. And I'm also going to get the holograms from those old Impel Skybox Star Trek Next Generation sets and have them in there with them as well. But I'm not going to go for the full set of those. So that's, but I'm staying on that, and I'm determined not to dabble outside of that until I've finished that Star Trek movies auto set. So yeah, and it's just staying on target with it. Just establish your boundaries and kind of fill in that, and try not to go on to the next puzzle before you finish that one.
Honestly, it really is. How can I say it? It really is about that. It really is figuring out what brings you joy. It's really about figuring out what's the patience, your discipline, staying off. I know this seems counterproductive and sorry, but you got to stay off Facebook and Instagram. Like, you got to give yourself, if you're not buying, spend less hours on those social media channels out there with people showing their collections, because that is the worst. That is the best way to catch FOMO, is just watching people post things and get you thinking. In my opinion, stay close to your thing, and hate to say this, and I'm sorry, but you really should not tell people. That's dark, and I'm sorry, but it's true. You really have to keep it to your, close to the vest, unless you trust them and, they can help you. Like Ian knows what I'm going after and stuff that. But you have to kind of you tell the people who can help you and who you trust to help you. And then everyone else, you just, you just keep going.
In the current market, and again, we will talk about this on a separate episode, Adam Black, who's left us some great feedback and some interesting thought points. But in the current market, I won't openly announce everything I'm going for.
No, why would you? It'd be dumb.
It's crazy. Yeah. And it's the same. It is, if you go back to the example that we had earlier on of portfolios and traders and things.
Yeah.
If someone's got a tip on a company and they start quietly buying shares in it, they don't tell everyone else on the trading floor.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't do it.
No, and even before
until they've secured their position.
Of course, I mean, and that's the game. I mean, Here's the truth, though, and here's the truth. Even before this. Right before the boom, when it was just circle of collectors, all of us doing this stuff, I got some really nasty people holding cards over my head when people found out I was a surfer collector. Yeah, and people purposely not talking to me because they didn't want my collection to grow. Like, that is a fact. You know what I mean? Like, that is not like during this market. That was like years ago. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I remember on Blowout asking for a green Silver Surfer PMG on Blowout 6 years ago, when no one gave a crap. No one was buying it. They were maybe like, the most you would ever spend one-on-one was like $1,000 for Surfer or something. Not even. And I had people on that Blowout thread come in there and be like, "You're never going to find it. Give up. Good luck." And like be straight up rude, not know me. And that was over 6 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like, no. And it sucks because you want to be able to talk about it. But like Ian and I do, like, I'm in certain groups with my friends, and that's who I tell my stuff to. You know what I mean? And it sucks. And I wish it could be more public, but unfortunately it can't be right now, for me at least.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Which makes me a little sad.
Well, like I said, we will get into that.
Sorry about that.
Point.
Yeah.
No. I think it's a really good one, because I do want to talk about it, because Adam gave some brilliant feedback. But we're going to do that possibly next episode. Who knows? Because it still occurs to me that we haven't done a preview of the Spider-Verse set because they released the details of that. So we should probably do a little preview episode about that.
Damn.
But I want to watch Spider-Verse to do that episode. So it's a good job we didn't decide to do it today because I haven't watched it yet. But yes, we will definitely do that. And we've also got another Upper Deck guest that we're talking to, which should be an exciting show. And we are also planning, I don't know if I want to bury the lead on this one. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. We're also planning an episode where we talk to some of the OG crew who are collecting on Scoundrel, which I'm very much looking forward to recording. So stay tuned, folks. As ever, rate, review, and subscribe to the Marvel Card Collectors podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and on our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. Find us at the MCC Pod. Before we go, there's going to be one thing I'm going to do, Norrin, and that is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share my sound. And after this, you can sign us out. But someone sent us a voicemail. And this person said, can you not listen to it until you listen to it on the episode?
Oh, no.
So now we're going to listen to it.
Oh, no.
And you know we've had some crazy voicemails from people. Can you see my screen, by the way?
No, but I think I know who we're talking about.
You can't see my screen? You can now.
I can now. I think we're talking about the same rascal.
We're talking about the same rascal. Who keeps vocal bombing our messages. So, folks, you can leave us a voicemail on anchor.fm/MCCP/message. We love it because this is the kind of stuff that we get sent.
Oh, God. What did that madman do?
I once made a farty. I did it at a party. La 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 la. It was rather smelly, it offended Kelly. La 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 la. Enjoy collecting.
Oh, God.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.
I just can't. He's like the Dennis Menace to our podcast. He's the Joker to our Batman.
Tony Perner.
The Green Goblin to our Spider-Man. This is bad. This is bad. This is going to start something. You know that, right?
This is
the start of something crazy.
Shit's going down. Sorry. That's all I've got.
Ellie is going to be pissed. I can't believe you agreed to that. You knew he was going to do that. I can't believe you agreed to that.
You know what? I was like, I always know he's up to something because he said, did I tell you about the Christmas card?
Yes, I have my Christmas card, which was just the best thing ever.
So Tony and Elaine Perner sent us a Christmas card this year. It was very kind of them, very wonderful. They did it the previous year as well. And I got this one, and I remember it was one of the earliest Christmas cards that we opened. I opened it with my 6-year-old daughter, and we put it out on display with all the other Christmas cards. It was lovely. And then in January, he was sending me a message saying, "Oh, did you get your Christmas card from us?" I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to let you know." And he goes, "Oh, can you do me a favor? Can you? I just want to check which one we sent you because I'm really worried that next year we're gonna send you the same card. So can you just send me a picture of it?" So I did. I sent it to him, and even then I didn't realise that underneath one of the animals around the nativity scene, he'd drawn a penis. One of the donkeys had a penis. What was yours?
Yeah,
Noel?
he ruined many of my squirrel friends in my Christmas tree. He made them a lot more demented than I forgot. Well, not demented, just more like aggressive.
Did you notice?
No, I did not notice. In fact, I got the Christmas card, showed it to my wife. We put it on the fridge, and we're like, "Oh, that's so nice." And I was like, "Man, I love these guys. They're so cool." Blah blah.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was such a great experience. And then we moved the fridge in the kitchen because we had to like clean behind the fridge or whatever. So I took him down and put him in a drawer to put him back up. But then it was January, and he gave me the same text message. And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Yes, I forgot to tell you. Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you guys. You guys are the best." And this person was like, "Could I take a look at it? I want to see a picture of it. Do you mind?" Because I want to make sure it's same thing.
Line.
Yeah,
right.
Same line. And I'm the idiot who's like, "Oh yeah, of course. Wouldn't want him to sing the same one." 11 months later, like an ass. So I'm over there looking for it, can't find it for weeks. And he's like, "You're killing me." And I'm like, "I'm trying, man. I'm sorry." And of course, I put it with my collection stuff where I get other stuff sent. Anyway, pulled it out. And you know what? It's funny because I didn't take the picture and show it to him and then not realize it. But I looked at it and I was like, he did something to this card. Like suddenly the vibe off the card, it just felt different.
It suddenly got a bit of a stink palm to it. Yeah.
He ruined this somehow. And I looked at all of the animal friends around the Christmas tree, and they were having a very different party than I once assumed. I thought they were celebrating Christmas, but many of them should have had trench coats on, and it was kind of like that scene from Always Sunny when Danny DeVito goes to the you don't know nothing.
No,
well, people who've seen Always Sunny know what I'm talking about.
So were these squirrels, Norrin? Were they doing what we tell everyone to do at the end of each episode?
They were very much enjoying them. I mean, enjoy collecting, guys.
Fucking Tony Perna.
Tony Perna.
This shit is on.